Hello YouTube fam, welcome to Big Papa Rides. I'm Big Papa. How's everybody doing out there today? I've been sitting here trying to work on a video for the Motorhead's poker run that I went on Sunday, and my new computer that I've been trying to do my editing on has decided to be a pain in the butt with updates and everything else that, technology. Gotta love it. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is Hogrock. Hogrock River Rally is getting ready to start this weekend, and it used to be something that I went to religiously every year, twice a year, June and October. I'd go down on the early day and wouldn't leave till Sunday, and I had a blast. Haven't been down there in a couple of years, and I've only been down sporadically before that for a couple of years because, well, the rally's changed a whole lot since I used to go down there. When I first started going down there, it definitely is still a good party, still a good, still a motorcycle rally. A lot more golf carts involved in it now than I used to like to see. I went down there for the very first time in October of 2004, and it was kind of an interesting thing. I'd never been to a motorcycle rally before. I hadn't even really been one that I traveled a whole lot on my bike. I mean, I rode. I just hadn't rode long distances, much less by myself. So this was one of them things where it basically boiled down to that I had my bike, and I'd had a bad summer. I had broken up with a girl that I'd been going out with and just was kind of like blah all summer long. And I'd always been hearing about Hogrock, so I decided I was going to go ahead and go. And hopped on my bike, loaded up my stuff, left work on a Friday at like noon, rode the 3 hours down there from my house, and pulled in and found myself a spot. Had a good time. I kind of wandered around and check things out. I mean, it was definitely an eye-opening experience. There were things going on there that I never would have imagined happening in public, and here I was, a 30-year-old guy at the time, single, having a good time. I riding my motorcycle around the campgrounds, and I'm pulling up to camp spots that have stripper poles mounted on the back of trailers, and girls dancing, and people hand you beer and tell you hi, and hell, it was a good time. I decided right then and there, man, I'm like, man, I'm coming back to this place over and over again. You better believe it, I am. Came back down the next June. Ended up meeting up with some people that to this day are some of my best friends. Basically have become family to me over the years. I think that was my main thing. By the time it was all said and done for me, going to Hogrock was going to visit my family. We'd all get together, ride our motorcycles, party. I'll tell you what, man, Hogrock was a lot of fun. Bands, comedy skits, Bag Lady Sue. Gotta love that woman. Know her on and off the stage. She's a great person. I've always had a blast talking to her. Always had a ton of fun laughing at her. Things changed down there. I'm waiting for Peaches to get home, so I keep waiting for the garage door to open up. But things changed down there, after 10 or 15 years, I don't know. It got to the point where we were going down there just basically to hang out with our family, and we were, having fun, but the whole scene had changed by then. They had started bringing ICP in for a festival in between the two Hogrocks. Hogrock in June and Hogrocktober in October. And the kids that went to ICP realized that it was a great place that you could kind of go and do anything you wanted, and cops left you alone and you got to have some fun. And started coming into the rally. The man that owns the place realized that he's making a lot of money off of the RVs, and people bringing their golf carts in and all that stuff. And hold on, there's the garage. Give me a second. All right, there we are. We're back. Peaches is home. Her day at work's over with. Anyway, where was I? ICP. Yeah, things changed. Like I said, they kind of found it where they could do whatever they wanted, and then they started coming in. Tim started, the owner of Hogrock. He started realizing that he was making money on the RVs and the golf carts. It over the years, the last few times I've been there, it's definitely changed from more of a motorcycle rally to just a party. As a matter of fact, even on their website, they don't even call it the greatest little motorcycle rally in Illinois anymore. They now call it the greatest party in Illinois. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not what I went down there for. I went down there for motorcycles and brotherhood and sisterhood and kind of fell to the wayside of it. There's some great stuff about Hogrock. I mean, I'll do some of the pros. The pros about Hogrock is, first of all, it is an area, once you're in that campsite, it's free for all. It's brotherhood, respect, everything. You could drink all you wanted. If you wanted to smoke a little weed, you wanted to do whatever, you could do it. Women walking around naked, hell, guys walking around naked. It was definitely what I was always told was an old school rally. Mind you, I'm only in my mid 40s, and I didn't start going to this rally until I was 30, and it was my first rally. So that means I didn't know what an old school rally is. I've never been to Sturgis. I've never been to Daytona. I've never been to any of that stuff. But it was definitely fun for me. And like I said, it was what I always thought of as an old school rally, and that's what I went down there for. You know, you had, especially in the June rally, I mean, you had the Wall of Death, and you had Bag Lady Sue coming down and performing her comedy skits, and they always had the bands and, you know, all kinds of stuff. The riding in that area is beautiful. From Hogrock, you have the Ohio River is right there, which drops you into Kentucky. If you go into Cave and Rock, right across ferry, going to Marion, Kentucky. Beautiful riding down there. Beautiful riding in that whole area. You're in the middle of the Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, and it's gorgeous. Garden of the Gods in Illinois is literally, 20 miles from your campsite? I mean, it was easy to hop on your bike and spend all day riding around in that area and always see something new. You had Tower Rock, you had Cave and Rock in Cave and Rock, Illinois. Garden of the Gods, was it Ponds Hollow? I don't know, there's just all kinds of stuff there. It was real easy to leave out of the campground and get on a day trip and just go. Some of the other stuff was, you know, the locals in the area treated everybody well. They knew they were making money off of it, and they respected us, and you didn't have a whole lot of hassle. The police there for a while were kind of goofy. You know, they'd set up checkpoints and stuff at the entrance. They don't do that so much anymore. They realized they were actually losing money by doing that. And you can only lose money for so long before even the police are like, hey, time to let this go. These guys are just out here having fun. Some of the cons, which kind of was some of the reason we quit going, was, you know, they kept raising the prices because they were trying to get the RVs and stuff like that in there. Well, the con with that is now all of a sudden you got golf carts roaming all over the place. Well, that's fine and dandy, but them roads are not the easiest to maneuver on a motorcycle sometimes. I mean, most of them are gravel. A lot of up and down hills, and sometimes, you know, guy in a golf cart's driving by, sees a naked girl, he's going to stop on a hill going down, which isn't quite as easy on a motorcycle. I've seen more than a few people lay a bike down trying to avoid something like that. Some of the other, you know, cons is, you know, it used to be the main stage area was people and bikes only. About the time I went there and started seeing signs for golf cart parking at the main stage was kind of a turnoff to me. The fact that he was doing fairly well with the rally, but yet we weren't getting bigger name bands in there. I mean, he was having some of the basically the same bands, local bands, and there's nothing wrong with local bands. Some of them are great. I mean, Ori Craw has been playing there since the very beginning, and they're a good band. They're not a, but if I'm spending $50 to camp out here, eventually I'm wanting to see something a little bit bigger than that. I mean, he's brought in some, but it's like usually one night. One night you have like a decent band that is kind of known or has been known, but nothing fairly big. I mean, they never had Jackal down there, no Brett Michaels, no nothing like that, no old hair band guys that people would definitely pay to still go see. Not even any newer or older country bands. I mean, there's been one or two that I can think of, but I can't remember the names right now, which means that I was having a good time that night. And also the attitude had kind of changed. I distinctly remember when my son started going down with me, we were wandering the vendors up at the main stage area, and my son comes up and is shaking his head, and I'm like, well, what's up with you? He says, I was over here watching this lady. Oh, she was juggling fire batons or whatever. And he goes, and I was standing there talking to this guy, and I said, yeah, this is pretty great party. He said, the guy looked at him and said, yeah, he goes, this is great, man. You get to come down here and do whatever you want. He said, the only problem is all the fucking bikers. My son's like, you do realize where you're at, right? Well, but you just got to put up with it if you want to have a good time. Well, I'm not here to be put up with. I'm kind of here to have fun. It used to be the motorcycles had the right of way, and that was kind of falling to the wayside. And then you had guys bringing in $100,000 RVs, and the owner's making money on this, so he's putting them wherever he can, and these guys are bringing out their generators, and they're bringing out, their stripper poles and their 50,000 watt stage stereo setups, and they turn them on, and, they rock the music until 5 o'clock in the morning, and let their generators run 24/7 so that their girlfriends can have their hair dryer and their air conditioning and whatnot, and that wasn't bad when the RVs were in an area and then the people that rode their motorcycles in were in an area, because you kind of got away from it. But now they're on top of each other, and like for us, Saturday night, we all kind of knew, hey, we have to get up in the morning, we have to ride home. And some of my friends were riding 8+ hours to get home, and you got a guy that won't, you got 4 or 5 RVs that are just decided that they're going to party all night because they're going to sleep in their air conditioned thing, and then one of them's going to drive everybody home that next day. It got to be to a point where it was starting to get to be a clash, and I went down there for fun. I didn't go down there for drama, I'm not saying that I never go again. With the right circumstances and the right people, I'd probably go back down. Even some of the people that I've gone down there with before, we've talked about, going down and spend some time. We actually have a couple of sisters and brothers that live right in that area that are like family to us, love them to death. Try to get down there and see them as often as we can already. And she's, they got property out there, and they said, you know what, from now on, forget going to Hogrock, just come down here and visit us. And Rose and Jim, one of these days I'm going to take you up on that offer, and you're going to show up one morning and you're going to have like 10 tents set up in your yard. But would I go again? Yeah, I'd probably go again. To me, it'll never be the same as it was. And is it because I've gotten older? My life has changed. When I started going, I was 30 years old. I was single, and I was fresh to the rally scene. Now I'm mid 40s, happily married. Uh, I don't need all that. So there is that. Some of it was the rally, some of it was me. Um, Still like to go and party and like to have fun, but it wasn't what it used to be. It used to be my escape twice a year, and then it became it was an escape. It started off as an escape, and then it changed to going down to see my family. And then when we all started kind of getting pushed out by all the other people that were not what we were going down there for, there ain't no point in going down there to see your family anymore. And I wasn't real happy about the way things were going, so I quit going. But yeah, I mean, I have friends that have never been, and they ask me all the time if I would go back down there with them, and I've told them I would. Like I said, to me it's not the same, but I could still have fun. It's still a fun place. Don't get me wrong. Just not the same kind of fun as it used to be for me. So yeah, Hogrock River Rally. It's actually this weekend. I'm not sure when the one in October is, but it's usually the first full weekend in October, and it's worth giving it a shot. But it's just not the same for me anymore. But anyway, I think I've blubbered on about enough about this stuff. It's time for me to smoke this cigar, load this video up to YouTube, and hopefully my other computer is straightened out and I can get you guys video on Motorhead's Kenny Hoffman run. I think it was the 31st annual this year. So there was a lot of bikes, a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. So remember, everybody, let every mile be a smile, and Big Papa will see you later. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. That's what happens when I accidentally hit the pause button. Later.